Check, check, quick sound check. Can everybody hear me loud and clear? What is going on out there, chat? How are we doing? Welcome back to the market tip off. If this is our first time meeting, I'm Jay. Excited to hang out with you all tonight. How was everybody's day out there in the chat? Up on the day, down on the day. Get a little audio visual check, make sure we are good to go. Turn this music down just a little bit. Was good trading high. See who was in the chat. JT first in the chat, first comment. Good to see you. Small TV says we need the 3K challenge back. Stick around. We might be bringing you something that you like to see. Yair is here. Weirdo Book is here. Javier is here. Yair is here. Richard Harris is here. Say Weirdo Book already. Good to see you. Trading high. JB. Day trailing. Murdy. One tick is here. Maui Man, what is the crime? Up 833 on the day. 11K balance for Zach in your XFA. 5-figure club, Zach. That's not the 4-figure club. That's a 5-figure club. With that balance. Plan that payout. Jeffy is here. Hay is halfway through a 50K combine. Good to see it. Yarrick is here. Lawrence, Abed, Blue Ivy, April, Lata. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the market tip-off. We're going to review what happened in the markets for the day and then get ready for this Globex Open. Last market tip-off of the week. Today is Thursday. We do not stream on Fridays because Fridays the markets are closed and there won't be a whole lot for us to talk about. So we'll get into it. For tonight, we'll review the markets. I'll get you some settlement prices for all the markets that we trade, and we'll get ready for this Globex Open in just a couple minutes. So we had NVIDIA earnings yesterday after the close. We talked about that, and it really didn't change much as far as the structure goes. We're closing the day on the NASDAQ above the 200 moving average, 547. But we are still pretty much in this range, right? This June 5th candle range. Has not broken out of it. What I'm looking for is, can we get a trade up to the midpoint of this candle on the daily, potentially up near 29,880s, and maybe rotation up to 30,000s. NVIDIA bullish, of course. The NASDAQ's going to be bullish if NVIDIA is bullish, but maybe some of the price action that we thought we were going to see after a bullish earnings report from NVIDIA really didn't get. We do still have the Jackson Hole Symposium going on. We got Warsh speaking at the Jackson Hole Symposium tomorrow. And that would be his first time as Fed chair at Jackson Hole. I think we're going to bring in that speech tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern time, 9 a.m. Central on TopstepTV. And we got Michigan sentiment tomorrow as well. So one day to go till the end of the week. 2 trading days left in this month. And we'll see what happens. But again, structure didn't really change too much. Settlement price in the NASDAQ, $29,695.75. $29,695.75. Let's take a look at the S&P really quick. S&P, similar story here. Still in this range. We got a little bit of a pullback through this August 4th candle, but we're holding the midpoint now on the daily. Back above that 20 moving average. If you were listening to the opening call today, we were talking about the goal for buyers today was to close the day above the 20 moving average. We did that. 77.23 is that 20 moving average. 77.33 is where we closed the session. Bullish structure still intact. See whether or not we get this push back up to the high of this August 4th range, then maybe into all-time highs. A pretty consolidated range in the S&P as well, but we were sitting on top of that gap from NVIDIA. Settlement price in the S&P, 77.4250. 77.4250. Let's take a look at gold. Gold did what we were looking for it to do, right? Yesterday, we were talking about the potential to kind of consolidate here. Maybe retrace some of yesterday's range. The prior day's range. We had this sell-off into that 200 moving average, which is at 46.4470. And we kind of consolidated. Somewhat of an indecisive day, trying to figure out what the market is going to do at this 200 moving average. When we got off the market tip-off yesterday, we talked about a potential target of the midpoint of this sell-off range. And that's one of the structures I like to look at. If we get an aggressive sell-off, do we retrace half of the move? And maybe it doesn't stay up there, but that's for a trade. And if we could take a look at the 30-minute in gold, that's exactly what we got last night, right? We were talking about maybe missing the gold trade and taking the what did we take last night? We took a Nasdaq trade. Eventually, we did get up there. We didn't have a ton of urgency, but when that volume came in for the Asia session, we did go check that midpoint of yesterday's range and then kind of sell off here. Somewhat of an indecisive day here in gold, and then crude oil. Crude oil still in this balance range for now, holding above the 20 moving average. To me, still daily, still bullish on the daily, but maybe not breaking out of the range yet. We did hear some comments from the president and from Iran as well, basically saying we're no closer to a deal. So we'll see how that continues to play out if that affects oil prices. But a pretty balanced market we're seeing here in oil as well. We checked below. If you're not using the top step levels, maybe you should be. But Hoag's weekly kickoff low in oil is $80.80. We took a look at that low. I think we ran it by 15 ticks and then turned around for a pretty bullish day. Shout out to Imani, who was on with Gabe and I. Took a pretty nice oil long, right around $82, and held it through the rest of the session. So that was a great trade there. How's the puppy? He's doing good. He's doing good. I saw somebody ask about him yesterday. He's doing good, man. He got over his cold. He's feeling a lot better. He is good to go. Settlement prices in oil 83.53 and settlement price in gold 46.64. I saw somebody ask, who was that in the chat? Empower Her asked, what does settlement price mean and how is it beneficial? It's just another horizontal price level to look at. Basically, the way I look at settlement is, well, what it is technically is the price that the exchange uses for margin purposes. Right? If I'm holding a position overnight, I want to know where that settlement price is. For us as day traders, the way I look at it is if the market is above settlement price, it's green on the day. If the market is below settlement, it's red for the day. So that's really it. Just another horizontal price level to look at, but it can act like a magnet. What's going on, Leo in the chat? Banging Trades is here. Christian's here. Harvey says, new here, been trading for Topstep for 2 years. Well, good to have you here, Harvey. Matt got a payout on the way. Love to hear that. Ivan is here as well. Zane had a great day with gold today after we were talking about that 200 moving average. Hey, those levels matter when they do. How do you get the top step levels on the chart and also the moving averages you mentioned often? Just the indicators tab, moving average, add a simple moving average here. Right. Just go to that indicators tab and type them in from there. Top step levels is an indicator as well. Sometimes those don't show up, so you got to hit that refresh and get them to pop up there, but they are just indicators on the platform. MNQ areas of interest for Donald, 29,873s. The upside, potentially. 397s at the low. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at pivot points right now. I got early pivot points in the NASDAQ, 29,581. Support one is down at 29,455, and some resistance one is up at 29,761. Am I feeling bearish or bullish this evening? What market? And I really try to go in CPN with no bias at all. I try to have no bias. I don't control what these markets are going to do. It's like a blank slate every day, unless there's a clear directional move, like in corn, for example. I'm trying to find opportunities to buy this. We got a nice little pullback today in corn after this 10-day streak of upside, right? I'm bullish corn if it continues this way, but in the equities, I don't know how the hell I can have a bias if the market doesn't know what it wants to do. Right? So I'm going to be patient, wait for volume and price to tell me what the story is. So far, the story in the equities has been pretty range bound. I'm see-through on, oh, wow, you guys can see my thoughts. Look at this. I got to turn down the strength on this green screen here. Thanks for pointing that out. So let's turn that down a little bit. There we go. Should be better now. I've heard Fridays are tough to trade. Yeah, I didn't catch that either. I heard Fridays are tough to trade. In your experience, is that true? I don't know that I have any specific day that would be tougher to trade than any other. I I like to take them as they come, right? I like to take them as if I define Friday as a tough day to trade in my mind, and then I go and trade it, and it's the best price action ever, am I actually going to be ready and prepared to take the trades, right? So I try to take every day, on its own merit and see how it plays out from there. I don't really think there's any. I mean, obviously, when we get big news, right? If we have like an FOMC day, our Wednesday is going to be tough price action. They could be, but is it always? It's not. So I try not to anchor to a thought of what I think the market should be like, because it can be whatever it wants to be in any given day. Literally seeing my thoughts, right? All right, we got a few minutes here, 4 minutes or so until the Globex Open. If you guys got any questions, let me know. One of the things we are going to do today, I talked about it. People were asking yesterday, why do you use the NQ even if you're trading MNQ on the advanced charts? So we're going to take a look at some point throughout the session. We're going to take a look at the NASDAQ Delta as compared to the micro NASDAQ Delta and see if it gives us different information there. I can only see thoughts when I drink a little less. React, don't predict, man. That's why I try to be in my trading. Reacting, not predicting. Anytime I find myself in prediction mode, it gets a little scary. So give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go turn my AC on because it's a little warm in here, but I'll be right back. We got some music playing. Actually, it's not playing right now. Play some music for you guys, and I will be right back. All right. Is there a specific way to know when CPI is? CPI is going to be on that economic calendar. You can take a look at the Trader Hub on TopstepX. Take a look at the Trader Hub on TopstepX. It'll show you the economic events that are planned. It'll show up there. And you'll hear us talk about it a ton if you're watching TopstepTV. You don't worry about which day it is if you're a mechanical trader. I agree, Richard Harris. You just trade what's in front of you. Some days are going to be better price action than others, but try not to predict which days those are going to be. Obviously, when there's big news catalysts, and you go from there. Have you blown an account, Coach? Today? Or what are you asking here? Yes. Yes, I have blown an account before. And not just a prop account. I've blown a personal account with real money in it that I had to learn some lessons from. So yeah, I think it happens. I think many traders probably have that same story. So it's really about what you learn from it. But yeah, everything that you guys have been through or are going to go through as a trader, I've probably done it. So do I like to consistently blow accounts? No. Obviously things happen. Sometimes it's just, you hit a streak of losing trades, but yes, I absolutely have. One thing I've learned this year is not to be married to a specific instrument. If it fits the strategy, I'm accepting the risk. Today was gold and crude. Yesterday was MNQ and the Russell. Love to hear that. Thanks for what you do, Liam. Thanks for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for hanging out. We got the Globex Open coming up in about a minute, and we are going to take a look at a couple different markets. We'll see what trades play out. Again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wait for 3-minute opening range to establish in any of these markets and take a look from there. Degen says the dough, maybe. You know, it's funny about that. Your name is Doe in the chat, and YouTube has been doing this thing where it translates the words in the chat for some reason, and it's telling me that your translation, your word Degen there translates to the dough. That's pretty funny to me. Maybe that's why that's your name. Can you explain the numbers next to the economic events in the Trader Hub? Those are the expected numbers for each one of those numbers that come out. Each economic number that comes out has a different metric that it goes by, and we are open. Remember, this is the first of the 23 hours that we get to trade the futures markets. You do not need to be in a rush to take a trade. Let the markets define what they're going to do and go from there. Keisha, is this a new show? We started about 2 weeks ago. When I was in Chicago. I think it's been going pretty well. Response has been good. You guys can let me know what if you like what we're doing here. Wow, I'm looking at micro Bitcoin above 80,000 right now. Pivot point in the NASDAQ, 29,581.75. Pivot in gold, 46.56.20. The best show? Love to hear that. How's the music? Is it too loud or is it good? Why do you look? What are you talking about, chat? What kind of question is that? There's a lot of fiber in my diet. Why do you look like that in your profile picture on YouTube? Just got off of work, ready to roll. Did it. Again, for me, I'm gonna let this 3-minute range play out. I got a scanner screen that's looking at a couple of different markets. We're seeing some selling coming into the equities right now. If you get in a trade in the chat, let me know what market, let me know what direction. Music is too suspenseful. All right, calm it down. All right, let's calm this down. Shouldn't play the one that says tense, hard-hitting staccato strings over a driving hip-hop groove, right? That's a little much for right now. Let's calm this down a little bit. Crisis. It's all good. You know, I like to call out both sides of the chat, right? The dichotomy of the chat. That's the way I like to look at it. Hey, the YouTube algorithm doesn't know the difference. Two more winning days for a payout. It's 100%, Rich Harris. You know, there is and that's why traders got to treat it like a business, right? They cost to prop accounts, and some of the bigger accounts that you see out there might be spending more money than you're willing to spend to get to those payouts, right? But analyze your business as a prop trader, see where it fits in your cost, and go from there. I don't know. I'm trying not to eat lettuce, China Pug. I did have sweet green when we were in Chicago, and that was never eating lettuce again. Never again. ES chart is frozen. Refresh your platform. All right, we got the 3-minute range established here in the NASDAQ. In all the markets, we got a high of the range 29,644, low of the range 601s. We just took a price look below the low of the range. Let's see if volume wants to go as well. Really can make a case for either direction here in the equities. We had this big, remember what we said yesterday, right? We saw that Nvidia pop and everyone's like, oh man, let's buy it. And I did end up buying it, but I wasn't super eager to buy it. Was that the right read or what? This market didn't do anything the entire day. It gapped up and just ranged the entire session, right? So that eagerness from Nvidia was enough to gap us up higher. We did end up closing that gap in the morning session, but then we just chopped. I don't know what is going to get this market out of this range, but I'd be happy when they figure it out. Seeing some rejection right at that low, a little bit of selling absorbed here. Right at these 600s, you see about 115 or so contracts on the bid, right? 115 negative delta, right at those 600s. Selling getting absorbed there, right at the low of the 3-minute opening range. Let's see how this plays out. Could be range. Micro Bitcoin looks like it wants to take off. That market looks pretty bullish here. Caught a bit of both sides this morning. There was opportunity. There's been so much two-sided trade in the equities lately. April clear your cache in your browser. That could do it. You only have the 30R on the advanced chart. You just type it in, custom range. You can pick whatever you want. The model predicts a high percentage of a 3% upside move through the next 2 trading days. That'd be nice. Be very nice. I would take that. Yeah, I'm never eating lettuce again, Ems. Never again. Still kind of in this range for now. Let's see what plays out. Would not be surprised to see the markets kind of wait for Warsh tomorrow with Jackson Hole. So I'm not super eager to take a trade. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a look and see the difference between the footprint charts in, I got this set to 50. So footprint charts in the micros and the minis. Take a look at the difference here. Let's zoom this in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Let's close this down for now. All right, so it's going to be similar, but it is different, right? There's technically 2 different markets. So we can see it's the same range. Right here in the bigs, we have about 100 contracts, negative delta at these 600s. In the micros, in that same range, we got about 200, right? So more volume trades in the micros, but you're going to get the same picture. And again, why, somebody asked before, why do you look at the minis instead of the micros? Because it's bigger volume trading there. Are you going to get similar answers? You are. But the numbers in the micros are always going to be higher because more volume trades over there. So for me, whether I'm trading the micros or the minis, I'm going to look at the volume for the minis. You usually go 1-to-1, 1-to-2 risk to reward, or do you adjust based on the market structure? I adjust based on the market structure. It ends up being about a 1.5-to-1, just with the way I manage the trades. But I don't usually get into a trade. There are very specific trades that I'll get into, and I'll say, okay, this is a 2 or 3-to-1 on the risk. But those are usually some higher time frame trades. What Bitcoin futures are you looking at? MBTQ, August. Maybe I should actually, hold on. Are we trading Q right now? No, I should be on U. I gotta, see, I love Topstep X because it rolls over for you. I'm on Quantower over here and it did not roll over for me. All right, we're trading U, which is the September contract. Have I traded nanos yet? I didn't. I looked at them today. I looked at the S&P nanos. You know what? I really love those contracts for if anybody wants to swing trade, right? Obviously, we can't swing trade in Topstep accounts, but if you're trading a personal account, the margin requirements to swing the nanos are pretty low. So that could be something to consider for somebody who wants to swing trade a couple contracts. Short Bitcoin. Didn't leave the range for me. Not a lot leaving the range right now just yet. Gold took a look at the low of the range. I don't mind buying gold if it wants to catch a bid here. I like gold. Gold is kind of saying range bound for now. I'm going to trade this in... No, this is not an XFA trade. We're going to switch to that 50K, our market tip off 50K, see if we can make some more progress in this. But I'm getting long gold here. And why am I getting long gold? We kind of looked at the low of the range. Volume didn't trade lower. I'm looking to see if we can pop this high. Higher time frame. I like gold. This, to me, the past couple of days were a pullback. See what the volume is saying over here. Not a ton yet. All right, I'm long 4 micro gold. 46, 57, 70. I'm looking for this to push the high of the range and then maybe get some continuation above it. Risk about $200 on this trade. And why am I long? We took a look below the pivot. We took a look below that 3-minute opening range. This is more of a range trade than anything, so I do have to manage at this high because the volume is not going yet. But if it breaks out, then I'm going to go with it. Looking at this more like a range trade than anything right now. When I started learning order flow, I heard that MNQ is going to have more retail traders and NQ has more institutional traders. Not sure if that's true, but good to be aware of. Yeah, I mean, it's less expensive, right? It's less expensive for a retail trader to trade the micros, and that's kind of why the CME put the product out, and that's why they're putting out the nanos also, right? We had Craig Buick on last week, and he was talking about, you know, just having the right size contracts for every market participant. And the way the Nasdaq is trending, if the Nasdaq gets to 50,000, micros seem pretty big right now if you have too many on. But if the Nasdaq gets to 50,000, micros are going to seem huge. So yeah, more retail probably going to trade the smaller contracts, and then bigger money can continue to do what they do. Most markets look bearish. Are you sure? I don't think gold looks bearish at all, personally. I think gold looks pretty bullish. I think gold just had a couple day pullback. Could I be wrong? Absolutely. Have I been wrong before? Probably too many times. The equities, do they look bearish? They don't look like they're anything-ish. They just look like they're stuck. The equities, I haven't had no bias for the last 3 months. Just like this thing is just rinse and repeat every day, which is kind of nice, right? It's actually giving us some decent range trades, but I got short from, what price did I get short from in the S&P earlier today? 77.52. I was able to get short a couple S&Ps just because it was like, okay, they tried to buy it, but no one really wanted to. Can you set the footprint charts to show imbalance ratios in the bid ask? You can. Imbalance ratios ask. So you could set this to bid ask. You can set the display mode to bid ask, right? And it'll show that way. And then I think if you do stacked imbalances, yeah, you could do that. Yep. It's in the settings, in the imbalance settings. I have a 5-year plan for Bitcoin. Buy. Hey, it's been working, Richard. And it's starting to break out a little bit, right? We're above 80,000s here. In the futures, I don't know if spot is above 80. Futures are. All it took was for Sailor to sell some of it, right? And the market not crater. But yeah, spot Bitcoin is at 80,278 right now. So looking pretty good for the hodlers out there. Richard Harris, what is your average price in Bitcoin? I have to know. You're in at like $30, aren't you? NQ Wednesday profile look like we have a naked value area. NQ profile. Let's see. How was the market? Zane, you didn't miss a whole lot. If you're talking about the equities, you did not miss a whole lot today. Wednesday's value area you're talking about, right? Let's see. What's up, Farkas in the chat? Good to see you. Wednesday. Naked value area. From the regular trading hours or what? I guess we didn't come back and test that value area. Yeah, you're right. Naked point of control down here as well. 222s. We need Richard Harris on TopstepTV. He made some crazy demands, and then I said, all right, I don't know if we can meet that. First bought Bitcoin at $300. Sold too early. Damn. How many stories are there like that out there? Only I would have held. I don't know if I'm right, but something, especially things I type, tend to see them clearly. What, at 24K? Nice. What was that? Probably 2023? 23, I think you could have got Bitcoin for like, wasn't it like $4,000 at one point? Like pretty recently, after post-COVID, wasn't Bitcoin at 1.4 grand? Or am I wrong? How do I get those advanced charts? Click on the plus, add components, advanced charts beta, and then just click and drag. And then if you want the settings, I've explained the settings in a couple of different market tip-offs. If you rewatch yesterday's segment or Monday's segment, we talked about the settings that I have here. Love your insight. You guys help me become a better trader every day. I appreciate that, man. That's why I'm here. To help myself become a better trader as well. You guys are like my accountability partners here. But glad that anything that we do here on TopstepTV could help you with your trading. I was busy buying stuff on the dark web with Bitcoin as a degen. Little did I know, right? It's like, silver sell at 71. Let's see. It's like a tongue twister too. Silver sell at 71. 70.97 is the resistance one up there in silver. So if price gets up there with no volume, then yeah, I could see a kind of reversion play here. Let's take a look at the daily in silver. Oh yeah, ton of wicks up there, right? You might not even get up to 71 with all this indecision up here. Look at how balanced this market is for the past couple of days. Sold at 64 recently, like in this last little dip here. If you sold at 64, yeah, I mean, it was tough, right? The sentiment kind of changed in Bitcoin for a little bit, man. Saylor was never supposed to sell anything, and he started selling, and everyone's like, hold up. The dude that bought everything is now selling. What happened? But crypto bros they're having fun again. I see a lot of crypto Twitter talking about, getting back in the trenches, trading meme coins and all that other stuff. So we're probably going to continue to see Bitcoin price rise here as we see it right now, continuing to push. Bitcoin the horse today. Bitcoin might be the horse today. See if we got any interesting volume here. Really, all we got was that trap seller at 600 so far, right? They tried to push it with about 100 contracts. We're up 25 points from that in the NASDAQ. The S&P, 77.40 was an interesting spot in the S&P for the entire session, really. Gold. Oh, got to switch this back. I'm like, what the heck is that? Gold, seeing some buyers get a little stuck here at these 4660s. Just want to see a nice little push above that. We got the buyers up here. They just need to gain some traction, stop running into these sellers. And crude oil, crude not doing too much right now. Crude chop fest. But Bitcoin looking pretty bullish. Do you use correlation, Jay, or not really? Not really. What I do is I'll scan a bunch of different markets and then try to find the one that fits a trade setup that I like. And then I'll just focus on that one usually. Or two, the most I'll probably trade is 3 markets at a time, but one of those has to be like a set and forget trade. But I usually don't look too much at correlations because they break all the time. Unless it's a really strong correlation like we saw oil and the equities earlier this year when the war was starting. But even that kind of wore off, right? So really just trading the market that's in front of you. Gonna wait for Asia to open. This doesn't look like a bad idea right now. Looks kind of indecisive outside of Bitcoin here. We also have a clear naked bearish on Monday 17th, 30,100s up to 300s. Yeah, I'm looking for the NASDAQ to make that run to 30,000s eventually here. Bitcoin gonna go. Anybody trading Bitcoin right now? March of 2020, Bitcoin hit 3,800s. Yeah, insane. I don't follow any Bitcoin YouTubers. I made that mistake early on. I mean, if the thesis is just never sell, you just buy it and come back in 20 years, I guess. I assume it's the urgency trade that you first start looking for after they open. 100% Bink. Yeah, I'm looking for urgency somewhere. I have, while we've been doing this session, kind of identified some decent range trade opportunities, which is kind of what I'm in gold right now. I would love to be long lower in gold here, where we took a look at that 3-minute opening range pretty early. We took a look below the low. Volume never even attempted to trade lower. I would love to be long from down here, but this trade I'm in right now, and this is why I always hesitate to range trade. Look at where my entry is, smack dab in the middle of this thing. Right? And this is why I usually look for urgency, but I'm trying to get more comfortable taking these trades because they play out so often during this segment. So let's see if we can take advantage of it. If you can identify it, you can trade it. right? And it's just about figuring out the execution part of it. And right now, what I need to see is a buyer above 46.60s here in gold. They keep running into this wall a little bit. We can see about 100 positive delta right at these 60s. If they're able to break it, could be a pretty nice push. Not really seeing much on the order book there. Maybe they're refreshing some offers, but if we get a nice little push above 60s here, it could be a nice trade. Bitcoin is tradable. MBT, micro Bitcoin is the ticker. Let's go gold. Keep pushing. Get up to the high of this range, and let's break out. Maybe I should have took some XFA. What is the RR in footprint for the 1 minute candle in the NASDAQ chart? It's not going to work like that because, you know, the pace of the NASDAQ changes all the time. What you can do if you are trying to mimic a 1 minute chart, right? Go to the NASDAQ, 1 minute, look at the ATR. What's the ATR here? About 6 points is the ATR in the NASDAQ. So how many ticks is 6 points? That's going to be 24, right? So a 24 range chart might look close to your 1 minute chart. The problem with that is if we get trapped in a pretty tight consolidation, you're not going to get any movement on this chart, right? So take the ATR value on whatever time frame you're trying to mimic and go from there. That could be as close as you're going to get probably. And I think the team is probably working on some time-based range charts, time-based footprint charts that we can get. What's your stop loss on gold? Who's asking? Are you asking to run my stop? Is that why? No, I'm not going to tell you. $46.52. Why didn't you wait for volume to leave the range like you normally do in your analysis? We talked about this one, right? Because what we've identified is that this setup here says range trade. So I've identified it. Now I'm working out the idea of actually trading it. If you can identify it, you can trade it. So I identified that, and a wide range with price leaving the range without volume usually leads to a range trade. I also want to be long gold on a higher time frame. So I'm more inclined to take a long early than I am a short early, because I think gold on a higher time frame wants to trade higher. So in this case, it was an opportunity to get a better price than I maybe would have gotten if volume wanted to leave this range. Now, how do I have to manage this trade? If volume doesn't start leaving this range, I have to start taking some profits, right? So that's what I'm keeping in mind here, that this is a range trade. This is not a breakout trade, right? And I said that when I put the trade on. This is a range trade, so I have to manage the position at the high of this range. If now it wants to continue to push, then great. I have a range trade that turned into a breakout trade, but I can't trade this like a breakout trade just because I want the price to go higher, because the volume hasn't told me that yet, right? So I'm taking it as a range trade. We're at the upper extreme. We're going to take 2 off, and we'll find a spot to get out of the rest of them if we can. Where's gold? All right, so I'm going to get out of the rest under 56. So pretty much scratch on the rest, right? If this just falls back into the range, then fine, right? So I took the trade. The higher time frame structure said to me, gold is still bullish, right? The short time frame structure says we had an attempt to break lower in higher time frame structure that is uptrending. We had the attempt to break lower. Ideally, I'm long from here, but I didn't get it. So, but again, I'm going to manage the trade as it's a range trade. And then if we get some volume to continue to break out, then we'll just manage it as it is. Chat keeps saying long NQ. How good longs look before you get trapped? Could be, right? Long NQ. I mean, so NQ is kind of the same trade as this gold trade here, right? Would I long here? No. But we had a pretty big opening range, right? 40 point opening range. Price tried to lead to the downside. Volume never did. Everything we've defined since we started doing this, and if you've been at the Buzzer Viewer, everything we've defined over the past 3 years has said flat VWAP means range trade. So if you were long gold from 610s, 600s, 620s, great. Would I establish a long, sorry, NASDAQ. Would I establish a long in the NASDAQ right here? Personally, I wouldn't, right? Because we're already at the upper extreme of the range. It could reject. You're not focusing on MNQ? I haven't been focused on MNQ since for a while now. It's just not a great market to trade right now to me personally. I know traders are making money in it. It's just for my trading, I focused on it last night because we had NVIDIA earnings. I personally think there are better markets to trade right now. Is that going to be the case forever? It's not, but I think gold is a better market right now than the Nasdaq. I have the chart up. I have it on another screen, but as my main focus right now, nah. We're right at 46.61 right now. Yeah, this is we're seeing some negative delta here as well. So somebody's selling it up here, Richard Harris. Is that you? Hit the like button. Do us a favor, hit the like button if you like what we're doing here. Every Sunday through Thursday, market tip off. What contract is front month in silver right now? Z, I'm on you. I'm looking at a bunch of old data over here. That's why nothing is moving. I'm looking at my silver chart over here on another screen, and there's like nothing happening there. It's because I'm on the old contract. How do you navigate the DLL combines? Try not to use the DLL as a guardrail. Like, try to use it as a guardrail, right? If you're on the highway, there's guardrails there to make sure you don't cross over, right? But you don't want to have to use that, right? So set a personal daily loss limit that's somewhere below that value, and then just go from there. The consistency part of it, try not to make $1 million in a day. Just use ArrowPay for payout, by far the fastest I've gotten from any prop. Love to hear that. I got to speak to the CEO of ArrowPay on Topstep when we brought that option over. See this rejection up here? Somebody's selling. Are they going to sell through all this buying that we had, right? The buying was from 59s up to 60s, coming back and testing it right now. I got to treat this like a range trade, right? What is the volume saying? Not leaving the range yet, right? Anybody surprised that we're coming back down? Remember the NASDAQ yesterday? We talked about this as well. I was in that NASDAQ long that looked great, right? I was making money. I'm like, all right, this trade is awesome. But what did we say right before we got off? I'm long the NASDAQ. How much can I trust this move if the volume doesn't leave the range? And we said, I can't. And people were saying, is it too late to buy the NASDAQ? In my opinion, yes. Why? Because volume never showed that it wanted to leave that range aggressively. So there was always the possibility of a pullback. Surprise, surprise, we got a pullback, right? So I can take a trade. A trade is a trade. Trade is not an investment. I can profit from a trade that's wrong about the market direction if I analyze how good of a job my trade fits in what the market wants to do right now. Listen to you while trading is so calming. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Do you know the ArrowPay fee? I don't, actually. I don't. I tried to set up ArrowPay, but the bank I use is a credit union, and they were just like, what's that? So I don't know what that fee is. How do you get that layout? You just set the charts, and you go to add components, advanced charts beta, and then just drop this on the right side of your chart, and then it should split it in two. Ask chat how that trap feels that they bought. Kelvin, are you short right now? Are you short? Kelvin is short the NASDAQ chat and hates everybody else who's long. Your voice makes me want to punch babies. Damn. Oh, Yair, you could take a seat for 10 seconds. Heading out. Tick, we'll see you later. One tick. Thanks for helping us moderate this thing. Sharing that Topstep risk disclosure in the chat. Again, anything we say here is for education and information purposes only. Marcus is short NASDAQ and gold. All right, Kelvin, you got another friend. Marcus is short with you. Bitcoin pulled back. Look at Bitcoin, right? So again, can I take a trade? Yes. Did the volume leave the range in Bitcoin? Kind of. but then it turned around and we closed back below it, and now we're getting rejection, right? So you want to short NASDAQ? I don't want to short NASDAQ, no. Take a seat for 10 seconds. Oh yeah, I know Yair is joking. Yair is a lifer. Yair was always in the at the buzzer chat asking what anchored VWAP was as a joke. So 10-second timeout. Antro, I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Zay is short gold too. Okay. All right, chat. We're fading each other here. Okay, I took profits already. And do I mind shorting gold? Maybe not. I could see it, right? I'm obviously planning on selling some if we don't get continuation here. I don't know that I see anybody else successfully selling gold right now. Right? That's the only reason I'm not short. I see them kind of successfully buying it, not super aggressively. So I'm not trusting them with my life here, but they're gonna try, and they've been trying on a higher time frame for a long time, right? So if I had to bet on a horse, it's gonna be the bullish horse in gold. No. I'm not trying to sell. Hammer your long gold. All right, let's do it. You think NASDAQ has business down below for breaks above? Do you think NASDAQ has business down below for breaks above? What kind of Joker riddle is that? Can the NASDAQ break below? Yes. Can the NASDAQ break down? Absolutely. Yeah, I could see the NASDAQ going back and testing these 550s potentially if we get some pressure below that 20 moving average at 614s. Am I still long gold, Amanda? I am. Ems said, I took $120. How can I stop being scared? Let the markets tell you, right? And the question is really, is the market providing more than $120 right now? I don't know that it's providing me more than $120 right now, right? Which is why I'm securing some of this trade. We see the rejection. The market might have just said, hey, all I'm going to give you is $120. Got 21.85 for my max loss limit in 3K now. GG's, 100% done for the night. Nice job. These 60s are holding. This area where we saw those buyers in gold is holding for now. So I'm going to let them figure out what they want to do. I got an out somewhere in here below where the buyers are attempting, but they need to come in, right? Like we said yesterday in the NASDAQ, new selling is fine. Sorry, selling is fine. Selling could be profit taking, but we need to see new buying. And right now they're slowing down just a little bit. Bottom of the hour kind of came and went there. We will see how this plays out. Sorry, I'm not trading. This feels like having some beers after the trading day. Just talking about the next day. Hey, Power, that's cool too, right? Come hang out. You don't have to place a trade. You're not always going to see me place a trade either. Sometimes there's not going to be anything for me to do. So we can chill for a little bit. We got a good trade in gold going on right now. But even this one, like, am I super eager about and aggressive about how many contracts I'm trading in gold? Not really. This is not like A+, hey, you have to be in this trade. This is, a generational opportunity. It's not. We got to be honest about the trades. Every trade we get in, we want it to be the $1 million trade, but in reality, that can't be the case. See that buy rejection at the top? So did you see Hogue made a great call earlier today with the delta in the S&P? I might have to bring up Quantower to show this because we keep talking about these footprint charts, and there was just a beautiful trade in the S&P today off of the negative delta that we had at the highs. Let's see. Long gold too, Kyle. Let's get it. Let's do this. They just got to hold it above 60s right now. We're seeing some buying coming in above 60s, looking pretty good here. We just need some more friends to join the party, and we're good to go. I'm looking for the 70s up here potentially as a target, but right now looking good. Don't want these buyers to get any cold feet. So kind of think about what they're doing and say, hey, you know what, we're out. But looking good so far. Yeah, Gabe with that video, that karaoke video. somehow I tried to look back at the YouTube stream, and the first couple hours are clipped out, and I don't know what production did. Maybe they had something, but I think, and I'm gonna go with the assumption that my singing was so good in that video that they actually thought it was the Outkast song. So then YouTube was like, hey, you have to take this first half of the video down, because the first half of the video is not up anymore. So where do you find these advanced charts? Click on the add components, and advanced charts beta is in that add components menu. Just click and drag it somewhere, and you can get it on your platform. All right, we're taking one more off in gold here. Little hesitation. We made $100. Seeing some buying. Get a little stuck here above these 60s. And the last one, we're just going to let work. Break even on the last one, and we'll let this work. Remember, for me, for this session, one of two things. It could either set up some scalp opportunities to build a buffer for the rest of the trading day, or it could give us the best trading location for the day. But it really depends what the market wants to do. Right now, I'm not seeing best trade location of the day kind of price action. So I'm going to manage it like a scalp. And then sometimes we're going to get some trades where it's just like, hey, put that on, leave it on. Don't manage it because the market is urgently going somewhere right now. Not a ton of urgency. So we'll take the scalps for now. I lost my chat. Where'd you go? I thought it was the song playing and then it would just be the instrumental. Yeah. I thought I sounded pretty good. I don't know. Richard Harris's sister says, I've been watching you for 2 years now, and I'm blessed to say I'm the best trader in my family. You got a great trading family there. I saw your mom in the chat. Your brother's always here. The Harrises, watch out for them. You're gonna take over Wall Street. What is going on with Rich Harris? Crazy. 4660 sellers getting trapped. Yeah, they are right now. Can you show your settings for the footprint when you get a chance? I got you. We did show them yesterday. I'll show them again. Let me manage this trade. Let me see if there's anything else actually moving. I do want to show the negative delta that we saw in the NASDAQ. Oh, sorry, the S&P earlier today, because that was a very interesting trade setup. Let's move this over here. Let's see if we can put this up here. All right, I see some questions in the chat. I'll make sure I get to all of those, but actually let me answer these first. Leaving the short 635. Let me go touch grass. Jay versus Gabe beef intensifies. Yeah, I'm gonna see Gabe in the Thunderdome sometime. And got some talking to do. Real question: how often do you see a pullback in urgency trades? Would they be deep or minimal? If it's really urgent, the pullbacks are going to be to view up and then continue. Right? If it's like super urgency trade, the pullbacks are going to be minimal. Right? They'll go to view up, and that's about it. We'll get the continuation from there. Are we still pushing in gold here? Thank you for the content as a long-term viewer. Shapeshift, I see your name in the chat all the time. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are as much of a part of this what we're building here as anybody else that's on TopstepTV, right? So we see a lot of the same names in the chat for a while. I was a viewer of TopstepTV before I even got on air, which is why I always tell people that if you want to come and trade with us. Yeah, appreciate you guys doing this. It's always still kind of weird to me. I've been doing this for 3 years, but it's just like people make it a part of their everyday process to watch us trade, talk about markets, and it's pretty cool to do. All right, let's take a look at what happened in the S&P, and then we'll come back to these charts. All right, so here's my Quant Tower chart. I know it probably looks like a mess. Don't worry, we'll clean it up. But what I want to look at is all of the negative delta that we had at the high in the S&P. So these are 30-minute candles, right? And I know for the people who are asking for, hey, when can we get time-based footprint charts? I love these 30-minute footprint charts, but look at this 30-minute candle right here. This one right here. In that 30 minutes alone, we had negative 6,000 delta, negative 6,200 delta. And if you watched right before Hogue got on for Trade with Topstep with JD, and I think he was on with JD and Eric, he talked about all the negative delta that's up here at the 7750s up to the high of the day in the S&P. You see all of this, right? This is what I'm looking for in the footprint charts. And this is where I got short. Like I told you guys, I got short from 7752 in the S&P. You see all this negative delta? The purple on the screen is negative delta. And again, in this 30-minute candle alone, look at every other candle in comparison. Plus 5,100, plus 3,000, negative 1,100, negative 11, negative 1,400, positive 1,400, negative 73, positive 172, negative 6,000. It's like, whoa, what? Why did they just get out of so much S&P there? I don't know, but that's a signal for something. And then when we come back to the highest negative delta area in that candle, what do? We see a buyer get stuck there. 369 contracts tried to buy through that, but there is a seller here. There is a seller there. They met that seller, and what do? We sold off right back to VWAP. Now, this makes a ton of sense to me. Look at this VWAP for the whole session. VWAP is pretty much a flat line, right? It never left the first 30-minute range. So when price leaves up here and it stops going higher, everybody who was long from maybe these lows is like, hey, we got to get out because this market is not going anywhere. We're meeting a passive seller up here. And then where do we go? Right back to VWAP, right back to the middle of the range. All right, let's switch back over to TopstepX. Gold trade is still kind of hanging out here. 6 years was a joke. I kind of thought about that. I'm like, wait, we've only been doing TopstepTV for free, but I know Hogue was doing his streams before that. What does negative delta mean? Negative delta is the measure of aggressive market order sellers. So delta is the measure of aggressive market orders. If it's positive, it's measuring the aggressive buyers, market order buyers. If it's negative, delta is saying that there are more aggressive sellers. Negative delta, more aggressive sellers. Positive delta, more aggressive buyers. The delta number alone isn't enough. The way I like to look at it is delta and fluidity of price. If you buy a bunch of stuff and it stops going higher, eventually you're going to sell it. If you sell a bunch of stuff and it stops going lower, eventually you're going to buy it, right? So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Or if you need to buy a ton of inventory and price keeps going higher, right? Let's say I need to buy, okay. Give me 1 second here. The charts that I'm pulling up, some people are asking, hey, how can I get that chart? If I switch over to Quantower, it's a paid software. I'm just switching over to kind of show you guys something. A lot of the stuff that we're getting on TopstepX, right? So the TopstepX charts are here for you. I broke down the footprint chart settings yesterday. So if you want to go back and rewatch that video, use the YouTube summary thing for getting it. But let's see. What was I trying to explain here? Delta versus price movement is one of the more telling places to make free money. I think so. At the end of the day, this is an auction, right? And we're seeing if we're at an art auction, and we can see, oh, that guy's a buyer, right? And that guy's gonna bid higher. That guy's gonna bid higher, and we could see where this thing is trending. And then we might get to a price where it's just like somebody says a price, and then it gets quiet. Like, what just happened there? We might have hit a level where we found the last buyer. And that's what we're trying to do in these markets. Personally, the market is going to continue to trade until it finds the last buyer or seller, and then it turns around, just like an auction, right? If I'm auctioning off art, do I have a buyer at 1,000? Do I have a buyer at 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 100,000, $500,000? And then the room gets quiet. Sold to that guy. And then that's it, right? Now that guy has to hope that he has a buyer, takes that art home, has to hope either he's going to keep it or has to find a buyer higher if he's looking to get more value out of whatever art that he bought, right? When do we get advanced charts on TopstepX? They're already there. Click on the add components. It's a component, add advanced charts beta. Art auctions are legal money laundering. Thanks for showing that. Could you have created a monitor to alert you during the huge negative deltas? Sol Invictus in Topstep X? No, not yet. I'll say not yet. In Quan Tower, yes. Hit the like button for that explanation. Told you guys earlier this week, I've been thinking a lot about markets, right? We think about, oh, the NASDAQ should be at 30,000. Why? If they're auctioning off a banana taped to a wall and we find the last buyer and everyone starts to realize, like, hey, you know what? Maybe $5 million for a banana taped to a wall is kind of crazy. We should stop bidding. When gamma level indicators on Topstep X? I'm sure they're on the way. I'm sure it's on the roadmap. I don't know when exactly, but it's on the roadmap. Richard Harris, you getting short gold here. See, gold now pulling back right now. Am I going to be surprised if I get stopped out of this gold trade? No. VWAP still hasn't left the range, right? Very similar to that NASDAQ trade that we took yesterday. Price left, so I got to trade this like a range trade, right? We're coming back. It is likely that I hit the like button. More likes keep the stream going. 100%. Maui man, you have a great night as well. An auction is basically a price discovery mechanism regardless of the underlying, hence its purest form of price. 100%, right? 100%. But if in an auction, right, and the auctions that we trade are a constant auction, right? It's different than a art auction. There's a seller as well, right? So people are benefiting from the value dropping as well, right? And that's personally why I look at volume, right? If there was, let's say we're at an art auction again, somebody has a picture of a stick figure on a sheet of loose leaf paper, and they're like, all right, we're starting the bidding at $1 million, and the room goes quiet. I'm not buying that. It's a stick figure on a piece of loose leaf paper. Why would I pay $1 million for that, right? So now we have to drive price lower to find where somebody is willing to buy. That's all that's happening here. Right? And whatever indicator you use or whatever it is trying to help you figure out where the value is for this market. Right? And again, to me, in volume, I can see where that intention is. Like NFTs, exactly, Ronnie. NFTs were the craze for a very long time. And shout out to Gary V. He still thinks there's value in them. But if Gary V is the only NFT buyer, does the value continue to drive higher? If we all don't collectively agree and start buying it, yeah, I could think, oh yeah, that NFT should be worth $1 million. If I don't pay $1 million for it, then guess what? It's not worth anything, right? And if somebody's willing to buy an NFT, but they're only willing to buy it for $500, and then Gary V bought it for $100,000, there's a big gap in the middle that we got to try to find somebody else to agree to the value of this thing. I should write a book. I might be writing a book. Cut here or rebuy a little lower. We'll see. VWAP is trying to trade higher. It's really not being very aggressive right now. So I'm looking at a couple of different markets here, and everything else is kind of still pretty range bound here. I used to run a luxury real estate auction company, $2 to $20 million range. The room, ergo the players, were the players. And if we couldn't get it going, in the room, it was the right one. We couldn't get it going. It was the room was the right one. I'm trying to make sense of that last part of that statement. Players were the players. I mean, I guess what you might be saying is if you couldn't get, a piece of real estate off, then you either have to find new players or lower the price, right? I would assume that's how that worked. Is Coach Robert going to do a video on how to use Delta? Maybe. I'm not sure if that's on his plan, but if you want Delta explanations, again, I do it every day here. Hogue does it every day as well. Stop right at 660s where price held. Yeah, I mean, right. So we see for now, those buyers that were at those 60s, the room was not the right players. Yeah, absolutely, right? You got to find new buyers, right? If I'm saying that this piece of inventory is worth this much and I don't have the players for it, either I have to reprice the inventory or I have to find somebody who's at that value, right? But yeah, these 660s where we saw this buying initially came in. We are seeing a little bit of selling coming in here, right? Could be profit taking, could be shorts. We'll see. But for now, if they continue to hold these 660s, then I'm good. I want to see VWAP continue to trade higher because that means that our auction is continuing. How can you tell if someone trading a combine has the right habits to find success in trading? What kind of process are they taking to trade those combines? The quickest sign of somebody probably going to blow a combine is them asking how long should it take to pass a combine. Everyone focuses on that 2 days, but you're not trading for 2 days, right? You might be trading for 2 years. You might be trading for 2 decades. And there's always this rush to try to get to the money-making phase quickly. So if it's somebody that's willing to just sit through the drawdowns, figure out drawdown, right? If your account is up and then down, and you figure out how to navigate that without blowing the account, that's a way. If they're not over leveraged and they're trading reasonable size and they're managing risk is probably the best sign. Are the longs cooking yet, chat? Kelvin is still short. Didn't someone do a Delta video on Discord? I think so, a long time ago. Years ago, Coach Paul and I did a time. We literally did a class on reading time and sales, right? Which is kind of this footprint chart. But I learned all of this reading just flat time and sales and trying to make sense of everything. What's good, Tommy? Better late than never. You could always go back and rewatch. We're long gold right now. Well, I'm long gold. Shouldn't say we. All right, top of the hour is when we're going to end this in about 9 minutes or so. We'll see if we get some volatility then. And taking off most of this trade. Why in gold? Because it was a range trade. If it wants to turn into a breakout trade, great. Could I have added out those 60s? Maybe. But nothing is telling me to yet. Not the right forum to discuss. Farkas, I think it is, right? It's relevant, right? It's what we're talking about is market dynamics, which is why I feel like I can trade any market. Because market dynamics are market dynamics, right? If I see a neighborhood that is, go back to your real estate example. If I see a neighborhood that is kind of downtrodden, known as maybe not a great neighborhood, and they all of a sudden put a Starbucks in it, prices are going up, right? So it's the same thing. It's the dynamics of the market. Does the sentiment change about the market? And does the sentiment about what value actually is in that market change? It applies anywhere. Hit the like. How many likes are we at right now? I don't even count them anymore. I just assume that everybody joins the stream and is going to hit the like button because they love what we're doing here. We've been putting on some banger trades as well. Somebody in the fast markets or whatever chat, I was on a trade with Topstep today. Somebody's like, Jay, I've never seen you place a successful trade. I think the past 2 trades that we've taken on this stream, and again, I hesitate to even do this. Right? Hogue said the other day, don't fly too close to the sun. The past 2 trades we put on this stream, I think have had a combined 6 ticks of drawdown from the entry price. And what's helping me with this trade? The order flow reads that we're making. So hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I'm never going to say I'm the best trader. I'm not. There's always still things for me to figure out as well, but I know what I know. Thank you for trying to get to everyone's question. I try, man. You guys, spend your time with me. As long as it's a genuine question. We'll try to have some more fun with these sessions as well. We'll bring some more guests on. Let's push gold. Need new buyers though, right? Look at this. This is thin up here. Where are they? Trade RTY or NQ. RTY is literally flat right now. Look at this. That made me LOL. Saying you place a lot more successful trades than I mean, hey, maybe they were a new viewer, right? You got to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they were born today. I suck at trading, but I keep my risk reasonable. That's really the goal, right? At the end of the day, I could be the greatest trader in the world. If I can't manage my risk, what does it matter? Can't find your volume video that I saved. Can you drop that again? If I could find it. Let me see if I have it in my Discord. Was there impactful news today? There were some headlines out of the Middle East that were talking about, we're no closer to a deal. Outside of that, I didn't really see too much. 5 minutes. We're going to end the stream here. I have that video. I always mean to save that thing and I don't. What are those green and red boxes in the footprint? Oh, good question. Those are what are called stacked imbalances. I'll show you what they look like. Honestly, I'm not using them, right? But those are what are called stacked imbalances. And here is what they are showing us. So if you use, so remember for me, I use the display mode on Delta. I just want to know the difference between market order buys and sells. But some people look at the bid ask, and what you can see there is, you see how there's an imbalance there. So what this is measuring is what trades on the offer, right? What trades at the ask, which is, if something trades at the ask, you have to lift the offer, right? So that means your market order buying. This is showing what traded on the ask and what traded on the bid. If something trades at the bid, you have to market order sell, right? What a stacked imbalance is a imbalance in volume, right? So there is a setting here that is set to imbalance ratio of 3. So if one side is 3 times, if you're looking at a ratio, if one side is either 3 to 1 or more of the other side, then it's going to show it as a stacked imbalance. So here, stack length is 3, is set to 3, right? If I change this and I change it to 1 or 2, it shows 2 prices where there is an imbalance. Right? If I change this to 5, right now it's showing, okay, so 8, right? If I change this to anything higher, that one goes away. So this is basically saying that in 8 ticks of price action, there is an imbalance in the volume to the buy side, right? So no one was able to sell there and everyone was buying. So what you could look at that as, and look at where it lands up. Well, where was I looking for buyers to gain control of this market? Right at 46.60s, right? So for me, again, I see that in the delta. So I don't use those stacked imbalances. But if that's the read that you're making, you could say, okay, there's an imbalance here of buying. And the market pulls back to here. Are those buyers still strong enough to hold this market up? You got to start withholding information for likes like Dakota does. I mean, hey, whether I give you this information or not, you still got to execute the trades, right? So information is information. I was actually talking to my barber today. I went and got a haircut, and he's younger. He's in his early 20s. Opened up his own barbershop and everything, and he's just like, hey, you know what? Like, the access to information, there's just so much information out there that it seems like people younger and younger are getting access to information that I was 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. I didn't know where to go to look for this stuff, right? So for me, I'll share it. You still got to execute on it, right? It doesn't change anything. And sometimes people are scared of like, oh, I'm gonna give away my edge. Market dynamics, right? If you're giving away your edge reading volume, that means the markets have stopped trading. And that's why I'm a volume trader. Because at the end of the day, there's so much money moving around in these markets that if I can identify what their intentions are, I can take my little piece out of the middle. So my edge is always going to be in volume reading because there are players in this market that are looking to make billions and trillions of dollars. If I can identify that I'm the small fish and take a little piece of the waves that they make, let's do that. Right? So I don't think you could ever give away an edge with volume reading. The last thing you should be considering when you're a new trader is passing accounts. It'll be your destruction 100%. Focus on setups. Focus on the setups. Get ready to get out of gold. Why? They haven't showed me they're getting out. No one's getting out. Good book or videos on volume. Currently reading Mind Over Markets. Volume, Anna Cooling. Read Anna Cooling's volume price analysis book. Shout out to her. She is Anna Cooling. You could read Brian Shannon's VWAP book. Hang out here during At the Buzzer. Maybe I'll write a book. I have a book title in mind. Legit, chat. I was thinking about that last night. Well, my book is going to be about market dynamics. Again, I think these principles apply anywhere that there is a buyer and a seller. No volume, no movement. See, top of the hour coming up here. Trading is the only addiction that can pay you if you lock in. All other can lead to depths. And trading can as well, right? Keep that in mind. Trading can as well. If you don't respect the game, it can get scary out there, right? So we're always managing risk. Gold right now is trading at settlement. 46.64 evens is settlement price. I already managed this trade as much as I'm going to do it. I'm just going to leave this on. And I'm going to move my profit target. This is either going to trade up to resistance 1 or I'm going to get out for a scratch. And I'm not going to do anything else to this trade. I've already managed. I took off 80% of the trade. So I don't care if this comes back and stops me out. I want to be long gold on a higher time frame, and this might be giving me a chance to do it if we want to continue here. I would not be surprised if the Asia session came in and kind of just shot this right back down. So I'm not going to take a loss on it, but if they want to continue to go, we'll try to go from there, and then maybe I'll manage this trade through the night. You found the video? Nice. Can't deal with these long traps. Kelvin, the equities are not moving right now. They are not moving at all. You're going to have to wait for some volume. It's not called at the buzzer anymore. No, it is not. It is called market tip off. Did I say at the buzzer? Let's see if I got any more information or any other questions. But yeah, maybe I'll start with holding information for likes. Banging trades, you might be onto something. I got to remember I'm an influencer at the end of the day, right? How to place a stop loss on a dom. All right, that's the last one, and then we'll get out of here. All right, on the dom. If I have a dom up here and I am in micro gold, I'm long right now. Right, let's say I didn't have this stop here. I'm just gonna pick a price on the ask. Right, I want to sell, and I'm gonna right click. There you go. That's a stop. Why did the name change? Different time. Different time, different show. At the buzzer wouldn't really make sense with the markets opening up again. So different time, same TopstepTV. All right. I think that's it. Again, thanks for hanging out, everybody. We got Dakota coming up for slow markets at 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be back for the opening call. Tomorrow is Friday. So don't get all biffed up on a Friday. You're going to hear Hogue say that on the opening call. Seeing a little rejection here at settlement in gold. So again, we're down to a runner. We're either going to let the runner get stopped out or go from there. 60 micros deep, long M&Q. Same badass host, right? Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out. If you're a new viewer, I appreciate you joining as well. Hopefully anything we're doing here is helping you with your trading journey. Remember, there's a lot of time to trade. You do not have to be in a rush to make money here. Somebody is a hater in gold right now with some offers at 46.64, so this trade might get stopped out. I'm going to try to stop watching it, go grab some dinner, and maybe catch slow markets a little bit later. Market tip-off on Sunday. In limbo right now, whether or not we're going to do it. I got a party I have to go to, and I'll see if I can get back home in time. If not, we'll be back on Monday, and I'll see everybody for the opening call tomorrow. Plan your trade, trade your plan, manage your risk. See you all tomorrow. Bye.